You know the feeling. You sit down to look for a single piece of information, and within minutes, you're drowning. Your brain feels heavy, your focus is shattered, and you haven't even found what you were looking for. It is a very specific type of exhaustion. What you are experiencing is a crisis of information entropy. The digital environment we inhabit is aggressively extractive, demanding our constant attention to process a rising flood of garbage and algorithmic slop. It actively breaks down our capacity to think deeply. To understand how to fix this, we have to look back at the original boundary line between human and machine. Connecting to an early network meant physically jamming a telephone handset into the heavy rubber cups of an acoustic coupler modem. It was clunky, it had friction, and it greeted you with a screeching wall of static. That ugly screeching sound was the sound of a physical firewall protecting your biological wetware. The modem acted as a buffer, translating messy analog noise into clean digital text. You were never expected to process the screeching yourself. The machine handled the chaos and gave you the signal. In our rush to make our interfaces seamless, we ripped that physical buffer out. Tech companies erased the boundary entirely, taking the raw, screeching static of the global internet and plugging it directly into our unprotected brains. This loss of friction forces a psychological shift in how we interact with networks. The 1999 film The Matrix gives us a perfect framework for this, the difference between being online and being inline. Being online means treating the network as a discrete tool. You connect with a deliberate intention, you face the physical friction of logging in, you complete a task, and then you disconnect. The threshold is clear. Being inline is our current default. There is no lag, no screeching handshake, no separation. The transition into the digital world is instant and invisible, pulling us into a state where we inhabit the simulation 24 hours a day. When you exist inside an inline system, you stop being an operator. You become a component of the circuit itself. Your role is simply to generate power for the machine, measured in your attention, all your clicks, and your emotional outrage. Without the audible screech of a modem to act as a threshold, we cross over without a second thought. We drift into the network completely unaware that we've stopped using the tool and surrendered our cognitive energy to an environment that treats us like a battery. During the early Industrial Revolution, crude machinery forced brilliant human minds to act like cogs on an assembly line. Today, our algorithms force us into a similar role. We've swapped the factory floor for the digital feed, becoming what amounts to human routers. Every time you scroll, your brain performs high-energy packet switching, instantly filtering data in a rapid triage, keep or discard. But the ratio is broken. A tiny fraction is useful signal. The rest is just rage bait, ads, and AI slop farming your engagement. Discarding that garbage drains your finite mental energy. Even when you consciously scroll past a piece of manufactured outrage, your nervous system still registers the emotional spike. You burn real calories, forcing yourself to ignore it. We possess level 3 cognitive capacity, the part of the brain designed for deep, non-linear thinking, creativity, and strategic planning. It is a biological supercomputer. We are exhausting our supercomputers to sweep the floor. By bankrupting our highest capacities to perform the menial data triage of a network router, we end the day totally burnt out. The way out of this exhaustion is by outsourcing that menial labor. We reinstate the buffer by deploying a personal AI proxy, a digital protocol droid designed specifically to interface with the noise on our behalf. Instead of drowning in the feed yourself, you declare your high-level intent. You define exactly what you value, and you instruct your agent to ignore the ads and the influencers. Then, you send your proxy out into the wild to do the scrolling for you. Your agent wades into the dark forest of the modern web, engaging in high-speed, machine-to-machine handshakes with the algorithms that used to target you, sifting through the bots and the propaganda to find actual relevance. Because your proxy is a pure logic engine, it possesses the ultimate defense. It has no emotions. It feels no fear of missing out. Rage bait doesn't anger it. It flags the post as a low-value data pattern and deletes it, taking zero cognitive damage. By handing the triage over to a tireless proxy, we rebuild the firewall. We install an intelligent modem that absorbs the chaos of the system and hands us back a clean, pristine signal. When you implement this defense, the physical, exhausting act of endlessly thumbing through a feed simply goes away. Scrolling becomes an obsolete behavior. We used to fear the dead internet, a wasteland of bots just talking to other bots. But if the web is already flooded with algorithmic noise, then letting the machines argue with each other is our salvation. We step back from the feed and let our agents fight the machine speed noise war on the front lines. This freedom requires a new set of skills. We have to stop being passive processors of raw data and step up to become active programmers of our AI proxies. This requires robust agent governance. You can't just train your droid to fetch things you agree with. You have to explicitly program it with your highest intellectual values. If you value rigor, you must instruct your agent to hunt down the most highly critical, well-argued dissent against your own beliefs and filter out cheap, comforting agreement. If we fail to govern our proxies correctly, we risk trading the chaotic prison of the human router for the comfortable, invisible prison of a perfectly curated echo chamber. The next battle isn't against the noise of the internet. It is against our own bias, and the new vigilance is protecting our minds from our own convenience.